going on, everybody? Give a short little review on the Hawk here. Before I get into my actual list, point out a couple things that I forgot to write down. The swing arm is not the best quality, but I've definitely seen worse. I personally haven't had any problems with it. It's just really thin metal, so I don't know about jumping her. Let's see. Now, it is actually pretty smooth for not having a counterbalanced engine. It's definitely smoother than the regular carbed Hawk. Now, obviously, you get it up to speeds past 65, which doesn't really go much faster than that anyway. It does get a little vibratey, but nothing you can't deal with. The stickers are pretty much worthless. That's not really something anybody probably really care about, but yeah, the stickers just peel right off. I think I took it to the car wash once and lost about half of them. It does actually do really well on long trips. Surprisingly, I've taken this thing on I think a 4-hour trip before, almost non-stop without any issues. The motor didn't overheat, nothing bad happened to me. It did great. The stock wheels, they do bend pretty easily, so you definitely got to be careful when you're off-roading. Just as long as you keep up on the spokes and keep them tight. I try to check mine at least once a week. Then they're not too bad. I am looking into trying to find an aftermarket upgrade for these wheels, so I don't have to be on them as much. But like I said, as long as you keep them up, they're not as bad as people say, but they do bend pretty easily. The stock tires, they're not as aggressive as the regular Hawk. Now, that could be a good or bad thing, depending on who you are. Personally, me, I do more street riding, so it doesn't bother me. I am actually getting ready to switch these out to something more aggressive since I have the KPR coming, and this will probably mainly just be a trail bike for me after that. But these aren't bad. Like, honestly, it does pretty well on the trails. It does really good on dirt. It honestly isn't bad in mud. Like, I'm not saying anything that's 2 foot deep, but I have not gotten this thing stuck yet. It's horrible in snow, but again, that's a tire issue. Okay, big one here. Oil leak by the shifter on the shaft seal here. So, you probably can't see this, but you can see the shifter, obviously. Behind here, there's a seal that goes around the shaft there. I've replaced that 3 different times, and this is a big problem on both Hawks, the carbed Hawk and the DLX. I see this in the forums all the time. Everyone's always bitching about this. I've replaced it 3 times and I've given up. It leaks so slowly that, I mean, you can see my oil stain right here from it leaking actually. But it leaks so slowly that doesn't really bother you. Maybe I'll try and put another seal in, maybe I won't, I don't know. But like I said, 3 times, normally 3 times the charm, not with that. Now, the suspension is actually better than the regular Hawk, but not enough to write home about. I can definitely tell a difference. But, you know, if that's your only selling point for getting this bike, then, you know, get the regular Hawk. The fuel injection is actually fairly nice. I will start it up for you guys here in a minute. It starts up first try every time. It's really smooth. Now, it takes about 500-ish miles for it to become smooth. Don't get me wrong. I had a lot of stoplights where it just died on me, but after about 500 miles, it smooths out, and it's been like butter ever since. The top speed for me is 70-ish. I say ish because I'm not 100% sure on that. I have GPS tested it, but it was kind of bouncing back between 68 and 72, yada, yada, yada. So I say 70-ish. About the same speed I got on my normal modded Hawk, and I had it fully modded. Now, I will say the regular carbed Hawk does have more low-end torque after you mod it. A downside for this is less moddability. To give you an example here, the only things I've really been able to do to it is I put a 45 tooth rear sprocket in the back there, and I removed the baffle and the exhaust. The baffle's still there. All I did was cut out all the wiring and stuff because I didn't want rain getting down in my exhaust. But the baffle is pretty much non-existent. That actually did make a big difference. This stock exhaust is way nicer than the regular carbed Hawk, so I'll definitely give it that. Let's see, homemade rack. You guys probably can't see that. I have a video of it on the channel, so if you're interested in learning how to do that, it's on the channel. Obviously that tail bag, that was really nice. And the only other thing is this phone charger, which charges your phone while you're going, so you know you can just use your GPS constantly and not really have to worry about it. And that's all I've really been able to do to it, other than, you know, just cosmetic crap, the handlebars, shifter, clutch cable, brake cable, stuff like that, cosmetics. Now, if someone ever finds a way to really tune the fuel injection on these, you could probably swap the exhaust, do a little bit more. I don't want to do too much. I haven't even done the airbox mod on this. I don't want to lean it out too much because I don't want to blow up my engine. Seeing as I can't just, you know, put in another jet and richen it up a little bit. That's about it. In all honesty, I actually really like the bike. I haven't had a problem with either of my Hawks. To all you guys that are getting all these things where the wheels are breaking on you and you're being too rough and you're not taking care of it, that's all I really got to say. This bike's been nice. I don't have a shit ton of miles on it yet. Let's see here. 1,105. My last Hawk, before it was crashed, I never got to do the last review on it. It had 10,000 miles on it and it was going strong. I know for a fact this one will go way and above and beyond that, but let's start it up for you guys. Starts right up. Removing the baffle did give it a little bit of a louder exhaust. It's not quite as loud as like the aftermarket ones you can put on the regular Hawk, but not bad. If you guys are looking for a cheap dual sport or even a cheap dirt bike, I recommend it. Just don't be taking it off a bunch of jumps. It will do small jumps. I've done something, you know, a few, maybe 1-2 foot jumps. I wouldn't do anything other than that because, like I said, these wheels. But yeah, it's been really nice to me. I have no issues, so I definitely recommend. Also, I do ride every bike I review on the channel, so if you're interested in actually seeing the Hawk in action, just go into my channel, search my playlists. This is under Hawk DLX. I have a review and a bunch of videos on the original Hawk 2, X Pro Vader, getting ready to get a KPR, so check it out, and thanks for watching, guys.